In this lesson, we're gonna talk about how to change memories or how to change past. Is it actually possible to change something that happened? And I will start with a story. How this realization came to me actually, and what happened after. So I was watching with my friends a movie. I was a Disney movie, The Puss in Boots, the cat from Shrek, Antonio Banderas. It was one of the more recent movies. And in this movie, the cat had a partner. It was a female cat, and there were three of them. And there was a little doggy. They were called Perrito. And in one of the scenes, they were sharing their own stories, their own kind of traumatic past memories, past stories. And first were the cats. They were just, blaming in the past and just blaming each other, and pulling out all those bad memories and just showing how they are kind of still attached to blaming, to these negative feelings. And then Perrito, this dog, started to share his story. And what his story was more or less about, that the owners were putting him to a bag and living in different places, but he was seeing this as a game. So he was saying, so excited, he was just telling that, they were playing a game with me, putting me into a bag and living there and there. Once they threw me even into the river, and it took me so long to came out and just to swim to the shore, but I was so excited because this was one of my favorite games and whatever. And I was watching it, and suddenly I realized, oh my God, we are creating our reality based on what we think about our past. Because what are the memories? What is our past? Our past is our memories. And what is a memory? Well, memory is just a thought, right? Because the moment doesn't exist anymore. What we remember is that we are creating over and over the same thought. Imagine that you are a video camera and you are a kid, and let's say you see a car passing by very fast that almost hit you, and you just step back and you recorded it. Kind of. You remembered it, right? Because this is how it got to your head. You had to perceive it through your eyes, through your brain, through your senses, through your ears, everything, and you created a memory. And how did you keep this memory for, throughout the years? Recalling it over and over. The thought. Memory is nothing else, just the thought that you created. Like an image with some sound, that's just a thought. And you are keeping repeating the same thought over and over, and it doesn't change, more or less. That's how you call it a memory. And now, just one thing to mention about the dog, the Perrito, that he was the luckiest dog. He had luck all the time. And he was just happy and excited about everything, even if his past was way worse than this cat's. And his inside was pure. It was like a child that doesn't worry about anything. And he believes that he deserves everything and he's protected and he's brave. Only difference was that his perception of his past was different than those cats. And now if you will think about it, all what you are right now in present moment is what you create, what you concentrate on. And the memories means the thoughts that we keep in our head throughout so many years, over and over, repeating the same ones. This is a huge part of how our life looks right now. How our relations looks like with our parents, with friends, whatever we remember, it affects our present. And now, if you will think about it, that memory is just a thought, you already probably noticed that we can change thoughts. What does it mean to change thought? Is to, instead of concentrating on one thing, start concentrating on something else. Just switch the concentration to some other image, some other picture, some other thought. And thoughts are elastic, they change, because as you probably noticed, when you started to release the emotions throughout the letting go process in this course, for sure you've noticed that some emotions, you had some thoughts about something, and that the emotion was the root of it. Like, for example, it was fear. After you start to work with it, it changed. It transitioned to, for example, pride, and then to forgiveness or understanding or acceptance. And the thoughts were changing as well. This thought that you have on the beginning wasn't accurate at all with the thought that was after about the same situation or a person. So the thoughts can change. Now, what's the secret then to change some things in our reality now? Maybe some relationship. And in my case, I focused when I realized that. After watching the movie, it stayed in my head and I realized, okay, I want to try it. I want to try to change a memory. Instead of perceiving it as something negative, I want to change it to something positive, so it will be propelling me, it will be fueling me instead of draining me. And I chose my mother, the relationship with my mom, because I had some memories that were with me, and they were weighting me, they were draining me. I was telling myself that I had bad childhood, and it was unfair and blah blah blah. So I've realized, okay, now I want to change it. I want to start concentrating on the positive memories that I remember about my mom, not the negative. Everything what is negative, I want to let it go and treat it as it actually didn't happen. That I created it. I imagined it like the bad version, but it was something that she didn't mean, or I saw it in completely different light that it was in reality because I wasn't conscious. And now, from now on, I want to concentrate on some positive memories. So I started to think, and on the beginning, trust me, on the beginning for me, it was very hard to find some positive memories. I'm like, but I don't remember anything. But I stayed with it. I started to journal, and then I found one. I found another one, and I started to focus on it and even escalating it, like diving deep into that. How did I feel? Some positive memory, just maybe some little gesture that she did, and just feeling it more and more. And what happened? I started to remember more things that were positive. Another positive memory came up. I forgot about that. And another one. It was happening on days. It was taking few days for me to suddenly, like 90% of memories have positive instead of negative. But one thing was quite difficult, and I think that this is something, I'm sure of it, that this is one of the biggest reasons why we are not changing the memories, are not changing the thoughts, why we like to be stuck in the same loop of negative emotion. Because when I've decided that I want to change these beliefs, these thoughts, these memories, and make them positive, make this relation positive, suddenly I felt like, hey, but then I will be not able to blame anymore, and I will be not able to feel like a victim. I will be not able to go to someone and tell, my childhood was like this and like that, and they would go, oh, wow, you are so poor. Oh my God, I feel so sorry for you. And this will disappear. No one will feel sorry for me anymore because I had such an amazing childhood suddenly. But you know what? Screw it. From now on, I'm choosing to have amazing childhood. And I'm choosing it because I created it. Whatever is in my life, I created. I have the power of creation. Every one of us is creating his own life. And with this moment, when you will let go this kind of satisfaction of being a victim of someone else's pity, and you will choose to change your past to something amazing that before you would feel jealous about, that someone had this childhood and you not. Now you have this childhood, you made this decision. Then the things change and another miracles are happening. After I did it, and as I say, it took me just a few days. It was maybe 2 or 3 days when I was journaling things. I remembered more than, those positive memories. I was writing them down. And after these days, I called my mother. Or we just talked on the phone. And I have to say, I never had such an amazing conversation with my mom. When she would be laughing and telling me stories that I wouldn't expect her to say. Like she would be really happy and like joking about things. And I would be laughing as well. And I was like, what's going on? I never had such a conversation with my mother. And then I realized, okay, this is what made change. If you change your past, you are changing your present thoughts, but you are repeating them over and over. That's what memories are thoughts that you just keep repeating them over and over. You can change them anytime. The question is, what benefits you have of keeping them how they are? Because there must be benefits. There must be something that you are attached to and you are afraid to let go. That's why they are still, running. So think about that. What is the reason why I'm still attached to those thoughts? What benefits I have? What kind of satisfaction I'm getting? And yeah, I really encourage you to try this technique. But you have to really resign for good from blaming, from feeling as a victim. And then your life changes. And you experience miracles, true miracles. So that's it for now. That was a little bit shorter. And yeah, let's go on. So I will see you in the next video.